Hello and welcome to this video about proteins. We're just going to discuss what proteins are in a very simple way, and also the main things that proteins are used for. Now, we've discussed proteins before in other videos. The main topic in relation to proteins has been the discussion of enzymes, because enzymes themselves are proteins. If you're not familiar with enzymes, then check out my videos on those, but essentially they are what we describe as biological catalysts. So they speed up the breakdown of certain molecules. So for example, in digestion, enzymes are used to break down the food that we eat from larger chains into smaller chains. They do have several other uses as well, including they are hormones. Hormones are chemical messengers which travel through the blood, and hormones themselves are proteins. The other thing that proteins are used to make are antibodies. So these are produced by the white blood cells in defense against pathogens. So those antibodies released by the white blood cells are actually made up of protein, or are examples of proteins. And finally, you'll be able to relate to this in thinking about people that take protein shakes and things like that. Proteins are actually used to build lots of structural tissue in the body, like muscle, for example. So you can kind of, if you need to try and remember some of these, if you think about the fact that people drink protein shakes and eat lots of protein to try and build up that muscle, that'll help you remember that a lot of muscle is built out of protein. So what actually are proteins? They are just long chains of amino acids. And if you remember back to digestion, the enzyme protease breaks down proteins into amino acids. So these long chains of amino acids, there's several different types of amino acids, and they all can join together in different combinations to make different proteins. And each protein, whether it's an enzyme, a hormone, an antibody, or a structural piece of structural tissue, is a specific shape. So all these amino acids will fold, these long chains will fold up until they make a specific shape for that protein. It could be an enzyme or any of those things below there. So this itself would be the protein, and then that protein can bind a specific shape of substrate, and it's like a lock and key. So the substrate that would fit inside would have to be something that would fit that shape, okay, so that when they all came together, that would be able to fit in there, and it would fit like a lock and key. So just to think of a simpler kind of shape, that was the substrate, then the enzyme. So if that was a substrate, then the enzyme might look something a little bit like this, to be able to fit that substrate like a lock and key. So these are very specific shapes to fit a particular substrate, and then that will allow it to do a particular function, whether it's as an antibody or as a hormone or whatever it is. So that's the basics on protein. The one that you need to know a lot more detail about is the enzymes. So go ahead and have a look at my videos on the enzymes if you're interested in learning a little bit more about those. So thanks for watching. If you found this video on proteins useful, then press the like button below and feel free to subscribe.